So this was the problem, right? And this is where the confusion comes in at, right? The belief is that Troy Avenue didn't tell because he was like using a self-defense law. So one, New York and California don't got self-defense. Part two, if you shoot at at somebody fleeing, even if somebody did something to you, if you turn and shoot a gun at their back, it's not even self-defense in the first place. Like that person has to be facing you. So that don't even make sense. It has nothing to do with self-defense, right? Somebody could shoot you, put the gun down, you could walk out the house, you feel me? And if they come shoot you in your back, they go to jail for a crime. Simple as that, right? Simple. Troy Ave's situation is unique because the only person on tape committing a crime is Troy Avenue, right? He's on tape. They got him in the club shooting at somebody through a crowd, and he actually hit a girl. And for that crime that they had him on tape, dead to right, they was going to give him 15 years. Troy Ave incriminated someone else, right, because he didn't want to do 15 years. No, he didn't tell because he didn't want his op free. He told so he didn't have to do 15 years. Snitching, again, is all about a lack of accountability. The one thing I realized my older homies tried to get me to understand was being in the streets means you are standing up and being accountable for your own actions. How you deal with other men, how you deal with the system itself, you have to be accountable. Snitching is the greatest sense of lack of accountability. It's the greatest sense of lack of accountability. If Troy Ave didn't tell to put the nigga who supposedly shot his friend in jail, because in the streets, you're not even supposed to put that person in jail. You're supposed to go do something to that person yourself. Troy Ave told because he was dead to right with a crime. He literally shot a gun on tape in front of people. They had witnesses say they shot a gun, and one of the bullets he shot out that gun hit somebody. So that was going to give him 15 years. He told because they said, if you tell on this person, we will give you 1 year. That's why Troy Ave told. That's what makes it snitching. He didn't want to be accountable for his own fucking crime. It's simple as that. It's not, I don't care if whatever you think is going on, however you think this shit go, that's not how it go. It don't got nothing to do with his enemy or his ops. Like I keep saying this belief that, oh, you know what? You know, why should Troy Ave go down for something that his opposition did, his op did? That's not why he would go to jail. Troy Ave would go to jail for 15 years because on tape, he was shooting a gun cause in the club, feel me, and hit somebody innocent. That's why he would go to jail. What had nothing to do with nothing that happened with nobody else. They have him dead to right, discharging a firearm in a public place filled with people and hitting somebody. Simple as that. Troy Ave probably wouldn't have told no matter what if they wouldn't have said, if most niggas wouldn't tell if you got the same amount of time. If like they like, look, if you want to tell just to make everything fair, it'll be fine. And honestly, Rick, even outside of that, dog, like, fuck the consequences of telling. How do you look at yourself as a man? Like, Troy is super manipulative, right? He doing what like 6ix9ine did, where they know the general public is ignorant on the behavior shit. Troy knew he was going to tell 3-4 years ago when all of this shit was happening. That's why Troy went from being a guy that was a big drug dealer, that was wearing vests, that was this Billy badass nigga pushing the street line, this whole thing, street, to the point to even calling Kendrick a weirdo. Kendrick, who was another really street dude, you know what I mean? He calling him a weirdo because he think he different and he not street. Like he went from all this pushing the line, big drug dealing, big everything, you know, all this big street shit, right? To now you get into some shit because you done put yourself in the middle of some shit with how you talk, confronting people, all kind of shit. You put yourself in some shit doing all of this, and now it's time for you to deal with it. Oh, the streets is a myth. Oh, the streets is bullshit. Of course they bullshit when you finna go to jail for it. Yeah, it's bullshit. I bet you it is. It's a real story, and I was talking to Pluck earlier, right? My big homie, right? My big homie is one of the hardest older dudes to please because he really is a stand down type of man. That nigga Pluck is a stand down type of man. I don't give a fuck who is what. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck who is a coward. That nigga's a hoe ass nigga for telling. That nigga is a rat, and that shit is trash of him. He was a horrible person. But this is a real story. So one day my big homie grabs me to come pick up a car. I think it's like 6, 7, 8 in the morning. Some crazy shit. He come wake me up, pick me up from Watts. We go pick up his car in Norwalk. We driving back. We coming up Imperial, coming through Norwalk. I'm in one car ahead of him. He's in a Suburban behind me. He gets into some kind of confrontation with a taxi cab driver, some Asian man. I don't know quite which country he's from, but he was an Asian man. He gets into a confrontation. I guess the Asian man flip him off, whatever. Pluck attitude crazy as motherfucker. He want to kill the Asian man. So he chirps me and say, hey, man, Glasses, man, block off this taxi right here. Block off this taxi. So I'm like, oh, okay, so I'm finna swerve in front of the taxi. Mind you, I have no idea what's going on. I just know he said block off this taxi, so I'm finna block off this taxi. So I'm swerving, I'm trying to get over. Mind you, it's rush hour traffic in the morning, you know, coming into the city. So it's people all around us. So I'm trying to get over there to the lanes, get around traffic to block him off. I see him trying to chase a dude. So I chirp back. I'm like, I'm trying, nigga. He like, yeah, man, block that motherfucker off. I'm finna blow his head off. That motherfucker called me, you know, he flipped me off and called me a nigger. Flipped you off? Wait a minute, yeah, he flipped me off and shit. I'm finna kill him. Like, and I know Pluck the type of motherfucker. If he talking about he gonna kill a motherfucker, he's serious. So I thought about it. All these people around us. And I'm like, man, if you shoot this motherfucker, we finna go to jail for shooting this fucking taxi cab man because he flipped you off. So he pumped out, oh, man, but I said, man, I'm not finna block. I chirped him back, hey, Pluck, I ain't finna block this man off because you tripping. Oh, man, if you don't block this nigga off, I'm finna get you DP'd. I'm gonna get you DP'd. Tell you, bitch, man, I'm not blocking this man off. You lost your fucking mind. I'm not finna be. So long story short, I don't block the man off. The man makes a right, gets on the freeway, whatever he's doing, he get home. So Pluck, we get back to the neighborhood, whatever, we out the car. Man, fuck that, man. You on some bitch ass shit. Nigga, you could have did this and you could have did that. And he was so mad. He was so mad. And now at this point, I done made enough of a reputation to where he got to respect my mind. He said, man, why you didn't block him off? I said, I refuse to go to prison because some taxi cab man flipped you off. Because the reality is I'm going to prison. I'm not finna tell these people nothing. So we both going to prison because you shot a taxi cab man over flipping you off. Yeah, I'm not going to jail for that. And I say that story to explain, dog, like, that's the decisions you make as an adult, as a grown-ass man, no matter if you a gang member, drug dealer, as a street, you can choose whatever you fucking want, long as you okay with dealing with the consequences. To this day, this nigga be mad that I done let him throw his life away shooting this fucking taxi man, and now we both in jail playing dominoes because you got into it with a taxi man. I'm not doing that. Troy Ave had the same choice. Troy Ave walked in that club, confronted that nigga. He had 3, 4 niggas with him, and whatever happened, happened. You pushed the agenda. You was talking crazy on the radio. You was doing this and that and all of that. Feel me? And then when the shit come to y'all, it's a problem. It's a problem. Y'all got to stop letting these people lie to y'all. These niggas know that y'all got your own lives. Y'all got your own kids. You got your own responsibilities. So people would mislead you. Even niggas like him. And that shit really fucked with me because I like that nigga music and I like what he stands for a while. So then as soon as the pressure comes, you become a sucker. You start acting like you don't know what's wrong. Or I don't know why. I don't know why. Nigga, you know why. You know fucking why, dog. Y'all got to stop letting these dudes. I'm not even holding them to real street rules where you can't make no statements. Like I was explaining this to Van and I was trying to tell him, I'm like, man, if you call the police as a gang member and you got insurance on your car, feel me? Nobody looks at you like us. Niggas is not ridiculous. You know what I mean? Niggas ain't ridiculous. Niggas ain't like, oh, you used insurance. Nobody don't give a fuck. Snitching is really rooted in you trying to lose accountability for your own crimes. That's it. Troy Ave told because they was finna get that nigga 15 years for a crime that they had him dead to rights to. That's why he told. 15 years because he discharged that firearm. They got him on tape discharging that firearm in front of all these people, feel me, and hitting some girl. There's no self-defense that can be made. Not to mention, you ain't supposed to say nothing. Your lawyer's supposed to do all the talking. He gets on the stand and says everything in him. I mean, he gets on that stand and tells on this man. That nigga's a rat. I don't care about none of them songs. I don't care about none of this shit. The streets is a myth. The streets is a myth now. They wasn't a myth when you used them to make yourself get some money, when you was trying to convince us all that you was this big D boy and you was a stand-up person. Your song all about the money and how you big D boy and how you pulling up in dope boy cars and you got the Beamers and you got all this shit. It wasn't a myth then. I hate that shit. I hate these niggas. They got a lot to say about the streets when they didn't monetize the streets. Some of the rappers do the same shit. They didn't monetize the streets for everything they worth. They done took the whole culture of all these people that have lived their life believing in these things and they monetize it and then they get successful. They like, oh, fuck the streets. Yeah, I bet. Troy and Tax ain't said shit. Tax got an attorney. Attorneys do talking. They didn't need to say, Tax didn't need to say nothing. Tax attorney didn't need to say nothing. They got Troy Avenue only on tape shooting a fucking gun. And he hit a girl. That's why they arrested him. It had nothing to do with Tax. It don't have nothing to do with nobody else. Wink, what up, girl? It don't have nothing to do with nobody else. They got Troy on tape dead to rights shooting that fucking gun and he hit a girl. That's what he's finna go to jail for. That's what he's finna get 15 years for. He told on somebody so he didn't get 15 years. That's the only reason why the nigga told. If he would have got 15 years, no matter if he told or not, he would have never told. Man, I ain't finna, this shit dumb, man. So many people manipulate people that don't understand what's going on. Like, I'm having to explain this to Van Lathan, dog. Like, Van, like, gee, but, his self-defense. First off, it ain't no self-defense. Yeah, you know how California and New York work. Ain't no self-defense. Not to mention, even in states there is self-defense. If you shoot somebody in the back, your self-defense go out the window.